Hello everyone, I am Reverend Gartlyn Chance, pastor of the Holistic Transformation Ministries at Louis. This is a branch work of the Calvary Road Deliverance Tabernacle under the umbrella of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the West Indies. I am also a special education teacher, having taught for 34 years of my life. Bridging the Gaps will be aired on the Tobago Inspirational Network every Saturday at 8 p.m. The program is expected to keep you at the edge of your seat. Join us as we deal with issues relating to the stages of early childhood to adolescence. A pleasant good evening to you, viewers. I am smiling because I'm always happy to be in your presence for this period, and call somebody and let them listen to what we're going to discuss this evening. It's important, it's relevant. It's about our charges. It's about the next generation. It's about bridging the gap. We have a responsibility to our charges, and we ought to live up to that responsibility. Again, with me in studio is Dr. Joanne Spence. For those of you who did not hear the program last week, I would have her tell you. I don't want her to go into any great details because we have something to deal with, a matter to deal with. I just want her to tell you something about herself. Good evening, Joanne. It's good to have you.
Great. It's great to be here, and thank you, Pastor, for inviting me. Okay, so I am Joanne Spence. I'm an author, a mother, lecturer, child of the King, love the Lord, a behavior change therapist. That's me.
Okay, and as we talk in Bridging the Gap, Joanne has been playing a great role in Bridging the Gap. I was glad because I don't think the last time you mentioned that you are a lecturer. Tell us something about that. You developed some courses for the university.
Well, that was Barbados. I did courses in conflict, and so on, developed courses in conflict resolution for the university in Barbados, open campus. I developed courses here also because I lectured 2 universities here. I worked at the university, open campus, and also at Caribbean Nazarene College. Okay. So I do courses, develop courses all the time.
And Caribbean Nazarene College is one of those colleges that I went to.
Yes.
In fact, I don't know how I ended up in that college. I feel God put me there because somebody told me about it. A teacher told me about a course that she was doing there. It was psychology and counseling. Okay. And I told her, I said, I will try. I was going to the States. I said, you know what? I will apply and I will try. I didn't know it was a theological college.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So then when I came
so the Lord
back
set you up.
and they called me and I went in, I realized that it was a Christian college, and I said, you know what? I didn't have pastor on my mind. I said, you know what, I'll do this program, and I did 3 years, my bachelor. I did 3 years there, and it was good. God wanted me to go there, and I went.
Yes, thank
so
God.
Today I want us to concentrate on your book, one of your books. In fact, viewers, Dr. Joanne Spence is an author. She wears many caps. And she has authored how many books?
This is my number 6.
Right, she has authored 6 books, and we are good friends, but this is only the second one that I'm seeing.
Wow.
So
that's not good.
I expect that she, when I'm saying it on set, that she will expose me.
Oh boy, that's not good at all. That's not good for the years of friendship.
I read the one on mentorship. You did a book on mentoring youths.
Yes, probably.
Right.
You had that one.
Right, I have that one. And today we want to talk about this one. I love the picture. I was looking for I want him to show them when I want him to be able to show them the book. And we want to talk about this because she did a launch of the book at the library in Tobago. In fact, she was able to launch the book in Trinidad at the
I did it at the Bellarima.
Yes.
What we did it as the Rima City Hall, we call it. Yes, in Arima. I did it there in Trinidad. and in Tobago at Tobago Library, Scarborough Library.
I remember when you you will don't worry, you will get the name of the book and you will hear more about it later on. But I remember when she asked me to carry a copy of the book to the library. The librarian there called me, and she was so passionate about the content of the book, and she said, "Miss Chance, I love the book, and I would like us to get some copies for the library because it is so," she said, "when I read it, I felt so sad." Tell me about, let's go back from where we should start.
Okay.
Tell me the name of the book and that kind of thing.
All right. So
don't give me too much. I want to ask you some
the name of the book.
questions.
The name of the book is My Grandma Told Me It's Okay to Say No.
Okay.
Yes, that's the name of the book, and I'm waiting for you to ask me my other question because I can just go on.
The name of the book is My Grandma Told Me to Say No.
It is okay to say no.
Okay to say no. The first thing that caught my attention in the book is the
Grammar.
color.
Yes, okay.
And the grammar with and then the house.
Yes,
it looks so local.
That's right, and that's what I tried to get this local because I wanted to reach home. The parents and the children to reach home. So I did this local thing with the fig tree, the old time house, the steps, and the grandmother is with this tub with clothes washing, and her granddaughter is sitting next to her. So I tried to put it as local as possible to bring the message home.
But was it is it a Tobago setting or a Trinidad setting?
It can fit into either, if you notice that. If you notice, it can fit into either one.
I'm thinking
and
that you stole a setting from Tobago.
Yes, it looks more Tobago.
Yes, it looks like one of those houses, long ago. Very interesting illustration. The illustrator has to be a professional, and even when we look at the back, I'm seeing a picture of you at the back with a beautiful,
with my granddaughter.
Oh, all right. So we have granny and granddaughter at the back and at the front. And it's interesting because we always sat, I remember long ago, you will always sit with your grandmother and listen to them tell you stories.
That's right, that's right. Yes.
And one of the things you liked with granny is that she would always spoil you and make, tart. My grandmother used to make tart.
And you know what is also good about it? Grandma will spoil you, but yes, she'll discipline you still. Ensure that you do the right thing. She'll look at you with one eye and okay, somebody came, they didn't come to you, you go to the back, just one eye. And that's the grandma. And that's what I like about the grandma. So while they're disciplining and they spoil you, yes, but they're still firm in a sense, and they share stories with you that will help you in terms of your future.
Yes. Yes. One thing we noticed though at the launch recently, a number of persons were interested in the book because they knew that it would have helped their children, because we're bridging the gap. The information in this book is important, and we're going to talk about it a little later. It's important that children have access to this book, and I think the cost was just $140. It's not too big an investment, parents. It's not too big an investment for you to make for your daughter and even your son. This is important because this is something we're talking to a therapist, one who has experience in the therapeutic, environment, and she knows what is taking place among our children and adults. It is important that we still get the book. You will tell us where we could get it at the.
But let me I want to share something with you. You said, I'm glad you said your young daughter and your son, because sometimes we feel like it's only the girls molested. Now let me explain to you what this book
tell us what it's about.
Now my grandma told me it's okay to say no. It's a short stories, a book of short stories about different types of abuse. And when we talk about different types of abuse, we talk about physical, we talk about bullying in the school, we talk about sexual abuse, being abused by their daddy, their uncle, their grandpa, and things like that. So so true stories, and I want you to know true stories that happened. We just pull it out.
So they came out of the therapeutic experience.
They came out of therapeutic experience. And I'll tell you why I wrote this book. This book came out because I had a number of persons, and not children coming to me, I had a number of adults coming to me who have been abused as a child. As I'm packing them years after.
Yes.
And then they come in the office and sit and cry and say, hey, what? This happened to me when I was a child.
Yes.
And they never dealt with it.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you about young men who find themselves promiscuous, who find themselves loving other men and wondering why. And when we go into details, we found out that this young man was abused by some man.
Yes.
Whether it's an uncle or somebody have been abusing this young man all these years, and now he's having difficulty, you know, with his sexual orientation. So we are saying, listen, too many times we have our young children being molested and nobody knows. They don't say anything because people say not to say. The person will say, don't say anything.
Yeah.
I will give you, sweetie, I will give you this, I'll carry yours.
Yes.
It's impacting your children as they get older.
And they're afraid to come to us.
I said to the Lord, I need to have a tool that I'll be able to make some impact. I need to be able to make an intervention in their lives. People don't normally ask, parents, they don't ask their child, did uncle abuse you? Did daddy touch you? Did uncle touch you? Did grandpa touch you? No, we don't normally say that. We don't, you know, it's not a normal thing. It's a very sensitive area. Yes. So this book is a conversation piece. As you read these stories for your children, or as they read this story, you'll be able to start to discuss, because it will talk about when this little child, Jessica, is saying, listen, I'm 4 years old, and she was with her parents, and then her father left. And she's now with her mother alone, and the mother has a visiting father. And he comes and he interferes with her. Now, how would this child tell you that? If you have a book that you can read stories and the child identify and will be able to say, listen, but mommy, you know, uncle so-and-so did this to me.
Yeah.
And the child will be able to tell somebody, if not you, tell a teacher, tell someone. So the book really is a conversation piece where you can sit with your children, read the stories, and allow them to talk. Ask them questions, things that we don't normally do. Usually parents, we have a taboo with really talking about sex and things with our children. We don't. The book opens the conversation.
Yes.
You can start talking it, because we have to talk it with them. If we don't talk it with them, when they go to the school, the children are in the bathroom talking with them. There's one story in this book about a child in the bathroom, and when she went into the bathroom, and two other children was interfering with each other, and they pull her in the room, and she has to be able to say no. And that's why grandma's telling the little child, listen, it is okay to say no. We have to teach our children it is okay to say no. Sometimes you have to understand, listen, you have to understand when you need to say no. And there are times as an adult may tell you to do something and you have to say no. Grandma is telling this child it is okay to say no. Castor, let me just tell you, when I had finished writing this book, I'd given it to several adults and asked them to just proofread for me. And on 2 occasions, the person said to me, I cannot read this, it happened to me. One of these stories here, I can relate with, and they started crying. On more than one occasion. I've had persons who, my daughter is she's a counselor in a school, and she said, Mommy, this very story with the 2 children in the bathroom. She said this happened in school today, and it happens every day. Parents, we have to learn to talk to our children. We have to begin the conversation with our children in terms of abuse and in terms of family members interfering with you and giving you sweets and telling you it's okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. They need to say no. They need to be able to come and talk with you. How would they talk with you if there's no conversation? And this starts the conversation. It starts the conversation. So I call it the conversation piece. Because it allows you to read to your child. And let me say this. This is really for the primary school age. From 5 years or even 4-year-old. If you're 4-year-old, you can sit with your 4-year-old. You can sit with your 3-year-old. Because listen, 3-year-olds are being abused also. Oh yes, babies. 3-year-olds that's right. So you can read and let them understand and show them the stories in the book. We have illustrations so they can see what we're talking about. They can look at it and see and identify with what we're talking about. We want them to understand, listen, this thing is real, and we want you to be aware, because we don't want what we see happening, a trend of young people growing up who have been sexually abused, physically abused, being bullied and so on in school. Nobody's addressing it. And when they come out there as adults, they are being affected and impacting other people's lives. And while you're talking, I don't want our viewers to believe that it's only about women abusing
or men abusing
women.
men abusing
children,
young girls and
That's
children.
Right. Yeah.
There are women who abuse as well.
That's right.
And there are women who abuse young boys.
That's right.
As well.
That's right.
And this is something that we need to
talk about.
To talk about.
That's right.
As well.
There are mothers, as a therapist, I can tell you, there are mothers who would be interfering with their boy children and interfering with even the girl children. And we sometimes we feel that we always feel the men are the abusers. The men are not always the abusers, right? What happens to this young child who has been abused 3 years old growing up, 3 to 10 years old until somebody find out? What happens when that child gets older? She becomes very promiscuous, and you find what happened to her. She's so bad. She's only running out with men. Yeah. We don't understand what happened.
Or do they become very withdrawn too? Could you find them on the other end?
They can find two different ends. Yes, they find 2 different levels. They may either go one extreme or the other. Yes, and then we begin to blame the child and say all sort of things about the child, and we don't know what happened in the past. We have to be able to kind of intervene very early in their lives. We have to be able to intervene early in their lives, find out what's happening. Anytime you see a child, a jovial child just become withdrawn, what's happening? Tell me what happened. Tell me what's happening. Yeah. Did somebody tell you something? Did somebody do you something? Talk to parents. We have to start talking to our children. We have to talk to them from very early. You go to school, what happened today? Start that conversation. What happened today in school? Tell me what happened. That's the only way the child will be able to talk with you, because you're opening that conversation. You started the conversation.
Yes.
They feel comfortable. Yes. And then the other thing we do is sometimes we ask them questions, and when they share things with us, we bowl them up.
Yeah.
And they would never come back and share anything with you because they feel they will share with them. And you have to say, listen, I know that happened. It's not good, but listen, I want you to come and share with me. Let's deal with it. Let's talk about it.
And sometimes you have parents who might say, you sure you're talking the truth?
Yes.
Rather than give them the benefit of the doubt.
And that might shut them up. And you're talking about that. I remember many times we have parents who children are saying to them, uncle is interfering with me. And you're saying you're lying on uncle because uncle bringing money for mommy.
Oh yes,
and
that's
mommy
the breadwinner.
Mommy don't want to lose that. So your child is
or
becoming
stepfather or stepmother.
That's right. And they call them uncle. The stepdaddy, they call them uncle. You know, and we have our children becoming prostitutes because we want to have money. On the table, and we want to have bread on the table. But parents, that is not the child's responsibility. God gave us children, and we are responsible for those children, to care for those children. We can't expect the child to be making all sort of things to be able to mind. You know, we have a responsibility, and listen. It's about time the church start talking about this.
I was just going to say that.
It's about time the church start talking about it.
One of the things I'm thinking too, why we have to have this conversation, is because when I say this conversation at our church, at the homes, you know, at school, because our children sometimes they're confused, they're stressed. The frontal lobe's not operating well yet, you know. So they can't really rationalize. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to do it because they have a concept of who an adult is. You know, you're uncertain as to, you know. And I am wondering, there was a situation in Tobago many years ago where a teacher was murdered in a school for this very thing. A student went and she divulged some information, and I don't know the real nitty-gritty of it, but eventually the teacher was killed. It had to be that the teacher probably reported or something. How do we prevent that?
Well, I don't know.
How do we deal with that? In other words, what I'm saying, if you know, what must, a child comes to me and a child tells me, Miss, you see the book you read today? Because this is important that schools get this, eh?
Yes.
You see the book that you read today, and you was talking about, this is Jessica. The same thing that happened to Jessica happened to me, Miss. What do I do
as a teacher? As a teacher, it's your responsibility to report it. It is your response. So first thing before you report, you have to find out some truth. Find out some truth, see how much you can find out, and then listen, you have to go. And once you find out this truth in terms of, this child is speaking the truth, she has been molested, You have to report it. This child said so and so. There, I don't know what happens in Tobago. I know in Trinidad we have
I guess the law is the law.
Yes.
Okay, right.
But your responsibility is to report.
Okay.
They would send out probation officers or whoever in terms of find out some more information, social workers, whatever, to get information at the home and so on. But your responsibility is to report. The child came to you and she said, I have been abused. It is your responsibility to report it. Okay. Now that person that you spoke about, it was a very unfortunate that reporting it that happened. But the fact is, we have a responsibility. You have a responsibility.
So is it a responsibility or a duty to?
You have, listen, one, it is law. Once you're aware,
so you have a duty to.
That's right. Once you're aware of abuse that takes place, rape, anything with a child, you have to report it. That's mandated by law. If you're aware of it and you did not, then you are in trouble. You could be charged.
Once it's a minor you're dealing with.
Yep. So you have that responsibility. You have to go and report the matter.
What about a pastor in a church or
you have that same
somebody in the church?
Because as adults you are hearing something that is illegal. Because once that man is interfering with a child, which is a minor, that means he's breaking the law. So once you're aware of that, your responsibility is to go and report it.
Okay. There's a situation in a church. Now, this is not a real situation I'm bringing up. You know, in a church where uncle comes to church, mommy and daddy comes to church, but uncle is interfering with his, nephew or his niece, because it could be nephew and men interfering with men, women interfering with women, and the opposite.
That's right. Yeah.
And that is happening. You come to me as the pastor and you say, mother comes, pastor, my daughter said so and so. But uncle is a member of the church and uncle has a high position in the church. And we decide, okay, we will deal with it in the office. What's your take on that?
No, I am saying to you, if it's a minor that's been molested, I think you have a responsibility. As I would have one of our apostles would say, listen, you break the law, you have to deal with that aspect. We pray for you after, whatever. But the fact is, you broke the law, you have the consequences to pay. You have to, sometimes you feel you want to quench it and you want to keep it inside and whatever, and here what happens, that man may continue either with that child or somebody else. Yes, he needs help, but listen, if you steal, what happens when you steal? You have to pay the consequences. So that's it. So yes, we pray for you. Yes, we will help you.
And this is worse than stealing.
It is. Yes, so I believe that you have a responsibility, you have a duty, and you need to. Because should in case anything happen, they're coming for you.
From where you are in Trinidad, has this been a conversation in our churches?
Not really. We introduced it at a certain extent, but I would like to see this. I mean, we need to talk on the pulpit, we need to talk sex, we need to talk, because the fact is happening, it's happening in the church. Why are we covering it up? It's happening right among us. And sometimes when we see a young child in the church pregnant, we want to put the child out, and nobody really dealing with the issues. Let's deal with it. Let's talk to them open so that they will understand. Here, what this you're not supposed to be. You only keep saying, listen, when you're feeling hot, excuse me for the terms of these. They know those terms. Yes. You're feeling hot, go and bathe. The fact is that ain't helping the child. You have to start talking to the young people in church, letting them know exactly how they feel, how the hormones start to act up or whatever, and how do we deal with it. Should I go out with men by myself, or should I walk with women when you're going out of the line? You have to be able to talk to the young men.
Conversations that we should have in the church.
That is right. Yes?
This is important.
So that's what we have to do.
It seems as if time is running out on us, so I want us to look at the book. Would we have an opportunity to one thing I like with the book is the print.
Yes.
It's not too
child
small.
Friendly. It's child friendly.
It's encouraging, everything about it, even the font that was used and the pictures, the colors. It's so interesting.
What I forgot to say also, the activities there. We have activities to help the child to reinforce whatever they learn, that they will be able to reinforce it. Before I go, I must say, to purchase the book, I did not put them in the bookstores as yet. I have them online, Amazon. You can purchase it on Amazon. If you want to buy it local, I'll give you a number. The number is 620-3453. 620-3453.
620-3453.
So when you call, yes, we will get the books to you from them.
Okay.
You call and you order your copies.
620-3453. And the cost of the book is?
The book is $140. Very reasonable for the type of the quality of the book. $140. So you can call your number, or if you want, you can put up on Amazon and look for My Grandma Told Me It's Okay to Say No by Dr. Joanne Spence, and you'll be able to get access to it on Amazon. Yes?
Okay, so let me see the back. And then we have a glossary where they oh yes, I'm now seeing
and
this
have
where
the color, you have color activities.
They have activities.
Yes, different activities in the back.
And it encourages them to be a part of the book.
That's right. Yeah. It's not just read and put down. You're getting involved. You're coloring. You're doing answering questions and so on. It even fill in the blank. It have even fill in the blank at the beginning.
And even as you look at the picture and the color in the picture, it could be a, what do they call it in psychology? It could be a trigger.
Yes.
You know, the child will remember. Oh, I remember when this was done. You know.
Yes.
Yes.
When Uncle helped me up and he touched my private part and things like that. So it really
because sometimes it takes this for one to remember.
Yes.
You know, and then there is a glossary at the back with the
terms, yes,
like pornography and sexual
bad touch
grooming
and so on.
They understand. And this should be part, I think, of the curriculum that the guidance officers have in the schools. Even the guidance officers, this is a good tool for them to use with our children.
Yes.
A very, very interesting book. It is okay to say no. We are bridging the gap. We are responsible for protecting the lives of our children. They cannot do it for themselves. God has given us the responsibility to do them. They are like arrows in the hands of mighty men. And the Lord raised up people like Dr. Spence to work on these books. And remember what she said, these are real stories.
That's right.
This is not a myth. These are things that actually happened. And she just, she took it out of that therapeutic experience and she put it into books. There are those among us who have been experiencing these same problems and they don't know how to start the conversation. Viewers, this will start the conversation for you. $140. This will start the conversation for you. This will put an end to something that might have just started.
That's
so
right.
I'm encouraging you, not because she wants sale, but
right.
because God has raised her up to provide us with this tool to deal with this situation, not only in the schools, not only in the homes, in the church as well. It is our responsibility when the arrow is going through the air and they're being bombarded by all kinds of things, we are the archers at the back of them that ought to make sure that they hit bullseyes. We want our children to achieve their full potential without a lot of outside interferences. So Dr. Spence, I want to thank you for having taken the time off your busy schedule to be with us on the program and to share your expertise with us, to expose us to a tool that I never really saw before. Even the writing, everything, it's very interesting, very relevant. I don't know, God must have guided you in doing this. So I want to thank you
for having me.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
And it will be nice, for us to have sessions again. Viewers, don't forget the number 620-3453. And if you have forgotten it, I'm sure that TIN will be able to give you the information. May God bless you richly as you not only enrich your life, but the lives of your children through your relationship with God. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Hello everyone, I am Reverend Gartlyn Arthur Chance, pastor of the Holistic Transformation Ministries at Louisville. This is a branch work of the Calvary Road Deliverance Tabernacle under the umbrella of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the West Indies. I am also a special education teacher, having taught for 34 years of my life. Bridging the Gaps will be aired on the Tobago Inspirational Network every Saturday at 8 p.m. The program is expected to keep you at the edge of your seat. Join us as we deal with issues relating to the stages of early childhood to adolescence.